Namaste, everybody. I just had to turn the music off. I don't know if you saw the music part, but there's the angel and the North Star and Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. Mary needed to give birth to her baby, but there was no room at the inn. The inn is like a hotel. So boys and girls, what Joseph and Mary had to do is go stay in the shed, which is like the room out back, the barn where all the animals were kept. See the animals right there? Don't know if you could see them too clearly, but we got some sheep and some horses and cows. We have some little baby sheep too. Okay, they were all there for Jesus's birth. So that's what I'm going to read to you on this Christmas night, but you can listen to it on Christmas Eve, or Christmas night, or any day that you want to. I tried to make it for Christmas Eve, but I had a lot of dishes to do, so we had a cooking and cleaning to do, so I couldn't get finished. But I'm still going to do it for you. Okay, so let's get started. Okay? The first book I'm going to read you is about what this holiday is all about. It is about Jesus. Okay? All right? It's not just about getting presents. It's about Jesus and who he was. And it's okay if you don't know who he was, because I'm about to tell you. I'm just going to move this over here, I think, or over here. Let me move a couple of things around, because I still need some smoke to be there, but okay, maybe I'll move this forward. Okay. And there's the three kings. One king brought frankincense, which looks like this incense that I'm doing right here. See that? Incense, or that kind of incense stick. And the other king brought myrrh, and that looks like incense as well. Okay, it's like oils that are supposed to be very good. And this king brought gold for baby Jesus, because that was like money back then, a long time ago. Okay, so let's get started. The story of Jesus. Now, Jesus, something you should know about Jesus is he loves kids. So there's nothing you could tell Jesus when you're praying or you're talking to him in your mind or in your room. You can't tell Jesus anything he hasn't heard before, because he's heard everything, and you're not going to shock him. He's not going to be mad at you. He's just going to tell you, let's try to do the right thing next time, okay? I know you could do it. Let's try to do the right thing the next time. So always feel free to talk to Jesus. Okay, boys and girls? Okay. I don't know if this is too close to see. Okay, so this page, I'll show you both pages. This page, you can see the North Star up in the sky, guiding them to walk, the three kings, and they're all walking to the barn where Mary and Joseph were given birth, where Mary was given birth to baby Jesus. And it says, Jesus was born in Bethlehem, a town in the rocky hills of Judea. Mary and Joseph were his parents. So there's Mary, there's Joseph, and there's Jesus is in that little bed. You see him? He's so cute. And there's a sheep, and there's, I think, a rooster, and there is a horse. That's why Jesus loves animals so much, because he knows that they are so healing and loving. Joseph worked as a carpenter. When Jesus grew old enough, he helped him. So that's Jesus when he's a little boy. And Joseph, his dad, was showing him how how to make floors and how to make doors and how to make tables and everything that you can make out of wood. Isn't that a good skill? I think so. Okay. And then Jesus was 12 years old when he and his parents went to Jerusalem. This is Jerusalem, right? For the feast of Passover. That's kind of like Easter. Jesus was thrilled by the sight of Jerusalem towering behind its great stone walls. See this big building? That interested Jesus a lot, because Jesus was like, wow, look at all these tall buildings, and it's so strong, and I wonder what's in there, and it's probably fun. And Mary was like, just stay with your parents, Jesus. Don't go running off. Joseph said, listen to your mother, Jesus. Okay, and then some people coming in on camels. Let's see what happened next. Okay, this page just has pictures, which I love. Look at the sky. Look at Jesus is talking to a lot of people. I think he did run away from his mom and dad. Do you think it was a good thing to do that? Do you think his mom and dad were worried about him? He seems to want to give advice to everybody waiting online. Some people are sick and they want Jesus to heal him because they heard that he was a little boy that was a healer. And that could be a very great thing, but is it a good thing to go away from your parents? Think about that. Jesus' heart rejoiced when he entered the temple. The house of the Lord, the good Lord, the house of the Lord God. Jesus knew even then that his life's purpose would be to work for his Father in heaven. Not his father, Joseph the carpenter, but his Father in heaven, telling people about God, telling people about him. So Jesus figured, I just know that I'm supposed to be talking about my Father in heaven from now on. Okay, so when Jesus became a young man, he met a prophet called John the Baptist. John asked people to stop doing wrong and to be baptized to show that they were starting a new and healthy life. John baptized Jesus in the river Jordan. At that moment, God had sent a dove down from heaven, a sign that he was pleased. See the dove? So whenever you see a dove, know that God is trying to show you he's so happy with you. Okay? So he baptized, he put Jesus' head in the water, and Jesus said a prayer to God. And God said, you were born again, and all your sins are gone. Okay? Afterward, Jesus went off by himself. See how he wanted to sit on this rock? He was always doing things like that because he likes to be alone to think. Do you like to be alone to think? I do. Sometimes I just go in my car, or sometimes I go for a walk. Deep into the desert, he stayed for many, many days thinking about the good and evil in the world. He prayed for God to show him the way to live his life because he's still a young man. He doesn't know. He was like, what does this mean that I got baptized? What am I supposed to do with all this knowledge? What am I supposed to do that dove was sent by God? I don't know what all of this means. Plus, everybody was following him around. See over here? He has followers, just like you guys when you have a YouTube channel or an Instagram channel. Okay, you get followers, like you get famous. Everybody wanted him to heal them or give them something. And he was kind of confused about it. He's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm a young man. So he said, please, dear God, tell me what I'm supposed to do. Show me the way. So God always listens to your prayers. It just might not happen overnight, but it'll happen somehow. Just always keep the faith when you're saying a prayer to God, and God will answer you eventually. When Jesus returned from the wilderness, he began to teach. He traveled from town to town, preaching the good news of the kingdom of God and healing those who were sick. So he saw all these people, and it was busy, 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 busy. All these people were around him. And then look, he's holding this old man's hands. And then before you know it, the old man will be able to get up and walk. Only if he believes in Jesus, and only if he believes in God, he will get up and walk away. And that's what Jesus was. He was a healer. He would make people feel loved. He would make people understand what God was about. He sounds pretty cool, doesn't he? That's why we make such a big deal about his birthday, because his birthday is happening tonight, okay? That's why we celebrate Christmas Eve. That's right before he was born. And then the next day we celebrate with food and family and friends and animals. And thinking about God and church. Jesus met with the fishermen, tending their nets to the shore, and with the shepherds, watching their flocks. He is a shepherd right here. And see all his flocks? Jesus liked to hang out with this guy, with these people that had a lot of flocks. Because why? Animals are wonderful. Children are wonderful. Children are beautiful. Children are innocent. So are animals. So that's what Jesus liked the best. Once Jesus spoke to a crowd of about 5,000 people. It grew late. And Jesus and everyone was hungry. But only one boy had brought food. 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fishes. Jesus took the boy's food and blessed it. Then he broke the food into pieces and gave it to the people. Through Jesus' miracle, everyone had enough to eat. So 5,000 people were able to eat how much bread? 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish, because Jesus blessed it with God's blessing. Jesus probably said in his mind, please, dear God, all these people are here and there's only 5 loaves of bread. Could you turn it into 5,000 so everybody could eat? And could you make the fish, instead of having 2 fish, can we have like 5,000 fish? So everybody could eat. And that's what happened. One night, when Jesus and his disciples were off on a boat, a terrible storm blew up, and the men were terrified. But Jesus called out, quiet, be still. And the storm stopped. The waters died down. This was another one of Jesus's miracles. So he got on the end of the boat, just like in the what's that big ship? That ship where Leonardo DiCaprio went on the edge and said, I'm the king of the world. Okay. He went on the edge and he said, quiet, be still. And then the storm did stop, and look, all these people had to stop being sad and worried, because they just watched another miracle happen. See, sometimes miracles happen, not everybody believes it, right? So you have to have faith, always Have faith always. Okay. Jesus walked through vineyards, that's like where the grapes are that you make wine, and teaching the people by telling them stories about people like themselves. He told them stories. Here's that picture. Right. Here's the wine. Here's the grapes. He's picking them. Right. And then he's talking to all these children and parents. Some parents are in there. There's one kid. There's another kid. And there's a mom. Okay. And he's talking to them. And he says, he told them stories about workers gathering grapes in the vineyards. As Jesus gathered people to God, he also told them about the shepherds searching for lost sheep, as God searched for sinful people. Yeah, God would search for people who lost their way and they made sins and they weren't doing the right thing, but God still searched for them to try to find, hoping to change their ways. Okay. And by the way, when he's going after those grapes, he's trying to get the grapes to make Jesus juice. That's the juice I drink. Okay. Jesus told the people to follow the wishes of God rather than worry about them becoming wealthy. Wealthy means when you have a lot of money. Just think about God. They follow the wishes of God instead of worrying about becoming wealthy with a lot of money or famous. He pointed to the flowers of the field, which do not worry about wealth, money, or work for it. Yet God clothed them in greater beauty than wealth could ever buy. So see all these flowers? He's pointing to the flowers and the butterflies. And he's saying, see how the flower is dressed? Do the flowers worry about getting enough money so they can get better clothes? No. Because God already painted a beautiful outfit on the flowers and the butterfly. Okay? So do not be worried about the things in the material world, because God will always have your back. And God will always have your blessings. Instead, worry about what God said to do. Okay? And there's Jesus over there trying to explain it all, like he does in a calm, sweet way. And then other people are starting to listen. And the little girl that's sitting on his lap always likes to listen. And he even talks to the butterflies because they listen too, because they're God's creation. But not everyone liked Jesus. And the leaders of the temple were afraid that Jesus would turn the people against them. And they were glad when a man named Judas offered to lead them to Jesus. The temple leaders paid Judas 30 pieces of silver. Soon Jesus, was that a good thing to do or a bad thing to do? Was he helping Jesus or gonna hurt Jesus? Yeah, he was fixing to hurt Jesus. Very sad. Soon Jesus was captured by a group of soldiers. They brought him before the governor, a man named Pontius Pilate. When Judas saw this, he was so sorry for what he had done to Jesus. He tried to return the money to the leaders of the temple, but it was too late. At least he was sorry, though. That God notices when you are sorry and you say, please, dear God, help me. I don't want to be a bad person. I don't want to be a bad little girl. I don't want to be a bad little boy. I want to be a good person. And God will help you. but you have to listen to what he says, okay? All right. Pontius Pilate let the soldiers take Jesus away to a place called Golgotha. Yeah, sorry. There he was crucified with 2 other men. Now, crucified means killed. I'm sorry to say that. Before they hurt him. Before he died, Jesus prayed to God. Forgive them, he said. It was a sad day for all of the people who loved Jesus. They also made him carry this cross after they beat him up, cut his back, and cut his hands. They made him carry this cross, and it was really heavy. And they also put on a crown of thorns that would stick into his head and make his head bleed. And they just did very bad things to him. But God took care of him, don't worry. 3 days later, some women visited Jesus' tomb. They were surprised to find an angel waiting for them. Don't be afraid, the angel said. Jesus has risen. Jesus has risen. He is not in here. And soon Jesus appeared to the women himself on the road. So see, as the women, one here, they opened this up, and at first he wasn't there. And then all of a sudden, they closed it, and she said, come here, see, let me open it again. And there he was. But he was all lit up. All light was around him, just like when he was born. Light went all around him. So he rose up, and he's trying to teach people. Just before Jesus went up to heaven, he appeared to his disciples and told them to travel in faraway places and teach people, obey his words. And I will be with you always, promised Jesus, until the end of the world. So obey God's words, right? Go and travel and talk about God. There's going to be people that say, don't talk about God. There isn't a God. We're going to beat you up if you talk about God. We're not going to look at you if you talk about God. But still do it. Still be brave and talk about God and Jesus. Right, Jesus? Right. See, everybody didn't understand. There was doubting Thomas. There were so many people that didn't understand. And they didn't want Jesus to go away. But Jesus said, that's okay. I'm going back to heaven with my Father. I'm going to be fine up there. But I'm going to be always here for you. I'm always going to be in your heart. The end. The story of Jesus was very beautiful. If you liked my story, give me a thumbs up and a comment in there. But we're not done. I'm going to read you The Night Before Christmas. This is a little funnier book. The Night Before Christmas by Clement Moon. Okay. You see Santa? You see the reindeer? You can listen to this story on YouTube if your mom lets you tomorrow night, if you have any trouble getting to sleep. Okay. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes of St. Nicholas would soon be there. He's only going to come if you go to sleep, right? So you guys can see that picture. All the stockings are hung. Let's count how many people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, over by the fireplace. Okay. Then we have all the children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. They're all dreaming about candy. Look at them. Those silly billies. They're dreaming about candy in their bed. And Mama, in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. Because they were tired, right, from making dinner and cleaning the house and getting Santa's reindeer food set aside and Santa's cookies and milk set aside and one present for their kids and hoping that Santa will drop off some presents. He always does. When out on the lawn, there was... See, I have a little trouble reading without glasses on. So I'm going to move it up close. When out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter. I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. So it looked kind of like daylight because the snow made a reflection. See? It looked like daytime because the moon lit everything up. The snow lit everything up. Okay. Now he's looking. He's like, what's happening? The father's looking out the window saying, is that Santa? I hope so. Usually Santa comes down the chimney, but sometimes he has to go down the door. When what, to my wondering, yes, should appear, but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer with a little old driver in a lovely and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. He cruises, they came, his carousers, they came, and he whistled, and he shouted, and he called them by name. Sorry, I should have got my glasses. These are all his reindeer. The Santa? Is that Dasher and Dancer and Donner and Blitzen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen? But do you recall the greatest reindeer of them all? Oh, now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. So he's trying to teach these reindeer what they're supposed to do. So we have Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner, Donder, and Blitzen. Okay. This is another long story. Okay. As they dry the leaves, as dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the housetop, and the courses they flew with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. So all of these little reindeers, they have a little hoof. Their feet are called hoofs. And what is he doing? He's getting ready to go down that chimney, or at least throw the toys down the chimney. if he's really busy, he's not going to stop. He's just going to throw them down the chimney. Then Mommy and Daddy come and fix them. But if he has time, he's going to go down and get the reindeer food, and he's going to get the cookies and milk for himself because he's hungry. As I drew in my head and I was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. And he's very happy. He's got his bag. He sees the stockings. He's going to look for the tree probably. He was dressed all in fur from the head on his front, on his foot. From the head, his head to his foot. And his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. Here he is. He's going to open up his pack, and he has all these toys. But guess what? They're not wrapped. So sometimes he leaves them under the tree with your name on it, on a label, and your mom and dad have to rewrap them. Because he doesn't always give you wrapped gifts. He doesn't have the time for that. Okay? So that's why you might say, hey, Mommy, you use the same tape and paper as Santa? And she says, I use the same tape and paper that I bought because Santa didn't wrap it. He didn't have enough time. His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses. His nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it circled his head like a wreath. There he is. He makes everybody happy. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Why are you out of bed? Well, Santa, I'm out of bed because I have to read the stories for the kids just in case they can't go to sleep. Their moms and dads could put it on for them. Okay, Katrina, have you been a very good girl this year? Because sometimes I saw you on the naughty list. Aw, Santa, are you kidding me, boy? I think I was a very good girl. Well, sometimes. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump and right old jolly old self, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head, and soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. I had nothing to worry about. That's what that means. Because he just made me feel good when he winked at me. And he smiled at me. He's smiling at you right now. And he's winking at you right now. Good little boys and girls out there. Good little mommies and daddies out there. Good little sisters and brothers out there. That's all you have to worry about. Okay? Now, he spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, and then with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. So he just went like this with his nose, and he went up the chimney like magic. I don't know if they had a rope. Maybe they had a rope and they pulled him up. He sprang to his sleigh. To the team gave a whistle, and while they're all away, like the down of a thistle, and I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, There he is. He's waving to anybody who's awake. Anybody who sees him. Maybe Mommy and Daddy's. He said, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Ho, ho, ho. Give this book a thumbs up if you can, if you liked it. Right now, I like the Jesus one better. Then this one was okay, but when not done, I have a couple more. Okay, let's see. We might have to wait till one tomorrow. Okay, let's do this little skinny one. The Jolly Snowman. The Jolly Snowman. Doesn't say who it's by. The Jolly Snowman is planning a big surprise. He tells his frosty friend they won't believe their eyes. Jolly Snowman tells his friend, "We found the perfect tree." Okay, there they are by the perfect tree. They string the lights together. He says, "Thanks for helping me." So they're helping each other, right? That was nice. And he said, "Thank you for helping me." The friends are so excited, they can hardly wait. Soon everyone will see the tree and help them celebrate. That's true. And that was the snowy, Jolly Snowman. That was a short one. Let's see. Would you like to read one more? The 12 Days of Christmas? The Night Before Christmas? We kind of watched that one, but or Jingle Bells. Okay, I'm going to pick the 12 Days of Christmas. Okay. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. And there's the partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. See, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. And this little guy is like, what is going on out here? On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. You see them? 1, 2, 3.